We begin this episode of Young Justice with a reporter on the scene covering a very public fight between Superman and Martian Manhunter against the Terror Twins. Superman and Martian Manhunter punch the hell out of the twins, sending them through some kind of storage facility. The twins don't even have time to get up and recover before being apprehended by Aqualad and Red Tornado, as they force them to wear collars that weaken them and inhibit their abilities. They are confused about what's happening, and it gets more confusing as they see Superboy dressed up as the male twin, and Miss Martian disguising herself as the female one, right before their eyes. Batman then basically tells them that they are sending Superboy and Miss Martian on an undercover mission to prison, disguised as the Terror Twins. During their transportation to the prison, Miss Martian remembers the briefing by Batman, explaining why they are going on this undercover mission. It all relates to that one incident that happened at the beginning of this season, where 4 freezing villains simultaneously attacked different parts of the city, and through some legal loopholes, they are now all being transferred to the same prison. So Batman wants to know what they are planning together. Superboy and Miss Martian arrive at the prison, and Amanda Waller introduces herself as the warden, and then rattles off some rules for the inmates to not break, or they will risk getting electrocuted and knocked out. She then introduces Professor Hugo Strange, who will act as the inmates' therapist to rehabilitate them. Superboy and Miss Martian are then transferred to their cell before the night ends. The next day comes around and one of the inmates, Icicle Jr. to be specific, takes Superboy to show him around the prison yard and pay respects to the biggest man there, who happens to be his father. Icicle Jr. gets attacked by some other villain, and Superboy tries to help him. The villain's friends gather around Superboy, and they get into a fight with one another. One of them almost uncovers the truth of Superboy's disguise, but Miss Martian manipulates his memories to forget. Icicle Jr.'s father stops the fight out of respect for Superboy's gut, and calls on his son to join him. Superboy uses his super hearing to discover how Icicle Jr.'s father is planning a prison breakout with all the 4 freezing villains. Later in the day, the villains are given new prison outfits that may or may not have a connection to the way they plan to break out of prison. Superboy informs Miss Martian about that, and Aqualad listens in as well. He suggests calling the Justice League and getting them out now, but Superboy and Miss Martian suggest staying longer to figure out how they plan to break out exactly, so that they don't just repeat it in the future. Superboy and Miss Martian are called in to have a session with Hugo Strange, and Miss Martian tries to talk about their problems, specifically how Superboy has problems with Superman, under the guise of it being their father. Superboy freaks out at Miss Martian's suggestion that he wants to live up to Superman's name, but quickly realizes he went all out on the poor girl. Meanwhile, Icicle Jr.'s father, Captain Cold, and Mr. Freeze steal things from the prison storage with the help of a crooked prison guard. They then meet at the cafeteria, and continue with their plan by having Mr. Freeze beat up Icicle Jr.'s father, and then get taken away to Amanda Waller by the crooked prison guard. Superboy stops Icicle Jr.'s father, and convinces him that he can send a message to Frost through his sister. The father approves and tells Superboy to tell Frost that things are going down right now. Meanwhile, Mr. Freeze goes to Amanda Waller and attacks her. She activates the prison lockdown immediately before her arm becomes frozen. All the inmates break out of their cells, and Miss Martian blows her cover, saving a prison guard from being killed by Frost. She tells Superboy about this before stopping communication and making him anxious. The freezing villain team throws Amanda Waller and Hugo Strange in a cell, as Amanda taunts them about not breaking out of prison. So of course they immediately go and start doing just that. Superboy tries to help Miss Martian by lying to Icicle Jr. about the women's collars turning back on. Icicle Jr. wants to tell his father, but Superboy convinces him to take initiative. They go to the control room, and Superboy sneakily turns on all the collars once again, but not before beating the shit out of the villains that were standing guard. Icicle Jr.'s father is infuriated and tries to roughen up Amanda Waller before Hugo Strange saves her. Mr. Freeze goes back to Superboy and Icicle Jr. to talk about how the villains at the control room were attacked. Superboy manipulates Icicle Jr. once again, and he fights Mr. Freeze thinking he is a traitor. They win the fight, but then suddenly, the women's wing is open, and Frost shows Superboy Miss Martian's frozen fate. He immediately snaps and beats the ever-living shit out of them. The ice cracks around Miss Martian, and Superboy is so relieved that he immediately goes in to kiss her. Icicle Jr. sees this, and realizes he has been duped by the heroes. In the aftermath, we see how Hugo Strange has replaced Amanda Waller as the prison warden, and how he was behind the whole breakout thing after all. Although the breakout didn't happen, it seems that his goals, and the goals of Cadmus, have been reached somehow. The next episode starts from the perspective of Artemis. She wakes up early for school but is immediately hit with a flashback to her childhood, alongside her sister, the assassin girl. She goes to Gotham School and meets a new girl, who also happens to be her liaison. Robin also takes a picture with her to mess with her mind as she wonders who that guy is. Meanwhile, Superboy and Miss Martian are still kissing since the last episode LOL, but this time, they are back at the Justice Cave. Aqualad is also having a serious talk with Red Tornado as he confesses about the mole situation and tries to take some advice from him. Meanwhile, Robin surprises Artemis, but this time in full costume as he wonders what she is doing in Gotham, all the way from where Green Arrow, her supposed uncle, lives. Artemis tries to get out of the situation with some excuse before they both teleport back to the Young Justice Cave. As soon as they teleport, they immediately find that the place is in ruins, and they are being attacked with fireballs. They try to head to the exit so that they can recollect themselves and have a plan, but they're attacked with water waves and fire tornadoes instead. They manage to find a way out of this mess for now as they go through the air vents. They reach some kind of generator or boiler room, but then get ambushed by the mysterious figure that is behind all the chaos. They manage to hold them off and go through the access tunnels. Robin hacks the security system to take a look at the security footage and try to figure out the identity of their attacker. They see the rest of the team get taken out instantly by someone hiding from the cameras. Robin tries to track all the other camera angles to see the person attacking, but they are all destroyed before they can capture their face. Robin takes Artemis to the library because there is a secret exit there. As they sneak about, someone enters the room and talks in the same voice as Red Tornado. Artemis goes out to meet them, but realizes it is just the same android model, but a completely different individual. Robin saves her at the last second before the other android shows up and attacks them as well. Robin and Artemis manage to escape. We then see how the androids have captured the rest of the team and imprisoned them. They threaten Artemis and Robin to give themselves up, or they will kill their teammates. Before the android timer runs out, they manage to catch up to Artemis and Robin and attack them again as they stumble on their imprisoned teammates. Robin and Artemis outsmart the androids as they manage to escape once again. They recollect themselves and come up with a plan to defeat the androids and save their friends. They get some EMP bombs and tell their friends to distract the androids while they sneak up on them. The androids catch them, however, and start attacking. They manage to knock out Robin, with Artemis being the only one left after she escaped. But Artemis has a mental breakdown and gives up on saving her friends alone. She gets some flashbacks again, and this gives her the motivation to help her friends. She pretends to surrender before shooting an arrow at the EMP bombs and takes down the androids. Red Tornado comes back to check on the kids. They tell him about his android family, but as soon as he touches one of them, he becomes infected as well and starts attacking the Young Justice team. They get knocked out and then wake up to the Justice League helping them in the cave. They tell them about what happened as well, and realize that Red Tornado and the other two androids are nowhere to be seen. An actually really exciting episode that kicks shit into the next gear? Sign me up, please. The first episode was your usual setup, but also payoff to something that happened at the very first episode. The fact that it needed 11 episodes to be paid off, only to set up something else, tells you everything you need to know about this show. Not bad by any means, but taking their sweet-ass time for the lack of a better expression. This brings us to the end of today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel to get more videos like this one. Your support helps us grow. And tell me, what do you think of these two episodes? Was Red Tornado the traitor all along, or was he just the victim? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you're watching till now, thank you. I'll see you in another video soon.